What's up, Taiwan? I'm Ethan Liu with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. The Health Ministry has proposed making Taiwan the first country in Asia to legalize surrogacy. As John Ventres reports, it's a deeply divisive idea.
Taiwan's well on the road to becoming the country with the world's lowest fertility rate. But many people in the country who do want children can't have them. The Health Ministry says it's drawing up a proposal to change that. A bill in the works would extend assisted reproduction to lesbian couples and single women. And controversially, it would make Taiwan the first country in Asia to legalize surrogate pregnancies nationwide, allowing willing women to carry other people's children. The idea of surrogacy is nothing new to Taiwan society. There are companies and organizations that help match Taiwanese people with surrogate mothers in places like Ukraine and parts of the United States. But legalizing the practice in Taiwan could make it more affordable. LGBTQ+ groups are particularly excited by the idea.
有一些女同志朋友，他们想要有下一代，但是在台湾没有办法使用合法人工生殖技术。男同志的朋友其实是去国外做代孕，哇，那花的钱就更多，可能都要几百万。
The bill would come with tight restrictions on who can be a surrogate mother, and it wouldn't allow payments to these women, only help with expenses. But some women's groups are skeptical about these guardrails.
会选择去担任代理孕母的女性，其实多数都是经济的弱势嘛。那他们用一个非商业化利他的这个包装，其实这背后还是对女性的剥削。
The Health Ministry says it's not wading into the debate, just suggesting a way of resolving a social issue.
考量很简单，社会上有这些需求，有这些声音，那能不能通过，我并没有立场，我们只是把它演绎一部比较完整。
The actual proposal isn't even out yet, but already lines of support and opposition are drawn. Once it reaches the legislature, lawmakers are going to have some tough deliberating to do. Joseph Wu and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's ancient prehistoric societies may have had trading relations with distant cultures thousands of years ago. Visitors to Taiwan's biggest archaeological museum can see the proof firsthand in a new exhibit. Chris Gorin explains.
Taiwan's prehistoric cultures may have been more globalized than previously thought. Researchers looked at these 3,500-year-old ancient rice grains under a microscope and found evidence that indigenous groups on the southeast coast may have already had contact with Southeast Asian cultures thousands of kilometers away.
那这个形式的比较特别的地方是在于它在台湾的其他地区就比较少看到这样子的一个种类。那我们现在是有在推论说有没有可能跟这个东南亚地方的一个传播是有关联性。
It's part of a new exhibit at Taiwan's National Museum of Prehistory, focused on what microscopic imaging can reveal about the country's distant past. The work shows that jade jewelry from Taiwan was being traded in Southeast Asia as far back as 4,000 years ago, while 2,000-year-old glass beads from the area have been found in Taiwan. Visitors can also don 3D-printed replicas of ancient jade jewelry for a little glimpse of prehistoric couture. The exhibit, which runs through next March, uses technology to bring these microscopic discoveries to the wider world and give a glimpse of Taiwan's little-known history. Scott Huang and Chris Gorin for TaiwanPlus.
Would you eat bugs? Conservationists in Taiwan are trying to promote insects as an eco-friendly food source, but they've sparked some controversy. Our reporters went to see if people are embracing this new culinary trend.
What's sizzling in this pan isn't your typical ingredient. These are bee larvae. They're being fried before being added to pancakes at this cooking class. It's a workshop hosted by Taiwan's Forestry and Nature Conservation Agency in Jiayi County in southern Taiwan, where about 30 people, ranging from 2 to 76 years old, are learning more about a growing food trend.
它的蛋白质含量甚至比我们的牛肉、鸡肉还高哦。第二名的这个呢是蜚蠊目，蜚蠊是什么呢？哎，对，就是蟑螂哦。好，所以蟑螂，看来蛮营养的嘛。
There's been growing interest in eating insects because of their high protein and nutritional content. Advocates say they could play an important role as a food source.
其实早在大概2013年的时候啊，联合国就已经有在推广吃虫的这个对环境友善的方式。
Eating insects is still not very common in Taiwan. Under the country's current regulations, only 3 kinds of insects are listed as safe for human consumption. Although bee products like honey are widely accepted by the public, bee larvae is not so popular. But by adding them to pancakes, it makes them easier for people to accept.
吃起来真的就是蜂蜜味，超浓的，觉得这会觉得出乎意料的好吃。
試過就嚟烹啲啊，冇乾淨啊，喺度食，冇什麼特別嘅味。安尼你裡面敢可以敢食8款糖，可能煮些再試看賣吧。
The cooking class isn't the only option for people to try some insect cuisine. In one classroom at National Taiwan University, a professor is brainstorming insect recipes with students.
Team Wasp, what do we do? Jelly. Ooh, I like that. Creative.
This class has been one of the school's most popular courses since it started in 2018. This is the first college course in the country dedicated to the study of edible insects. Entomologist Matan Shalomi from the United States shares his passion for insects, such as deep-fried black soldier fly larvae with students. He explains why eating insects might be the way to save the earth.
They eat much, much less. They need much less water. They need very little land. You can raise them vertically, one on top of the other, and they don't mind. They produce a lot less waste than animals like cows or chickens. So you're getting the same high-quality protein for a fraction of the input. So it's much more environmentally sustainable.
While not common, eating insects is actually part of Taiwanese culture. Crickets and giant hornets are traditional foods for some indigenous groups. Timothy Seekings is from Germany and now lives in eastern Taiwan, where many indigenous people still practice their traditional culinary habits. In his research, he explores the native cricket as a food source, holding tasting sessions in markets and festivals.
People are quite curious about it and quite accepting, I think, too. But then there's also a bigger challenge, which is the sort of regulatory framework in Taiwan. You have to be mindful of the existing laws and regulations when you engage with this topic of edible insects.
Local researchers have proposed eating invasive stink bugs as a form of pest control. But this has stirred some controversy, because these bugs are not legally approved for consumption, raising food safety concerns. In 2018, a startup sold packaged mealworm snacks that became very popular. But the authorities fined the company and took the snack off shelves for the same reason. Advocates for eating insects are raising public awareness of the topic and are calling for change.
Korea, for example, passed a law, I think the Insect Farming Promotion Act. It's not just saying these insects are legal, it's saying we should encourage it. Insect farmers should get the same tax breaks as livestock farmers. Treat insect farming the way you would treat other farming. Invest research, invest agriculture. Encourage more people to grow it, to sell it, and eventually people will also eat it.
As the world looks for more eco-friendly food sources, activists say it's time for Taiwan to embrace its history of eating insects and change its food regulations. If it does, bugs like these could be crawling onto dinner plates again soon. Luffy Lee, Peachy Zhuang, and Sandy Chi for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website and follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, check out these elephants greeting each other in the wild. A recent study has found they have complicated interactions, much like humans. I'm Ethan. They'll take care, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching Taiwan Plus News. For more stories from Taiwan and around the rest of the world, please visit the Taiwan Plus website or follow us on social media.